Greetings everyone, namaste and a warm welcome to you. Hey, thank you for joining me for this reading. And Cancer, this is your October reading for 2018 using the Morgan Greer cards you see before you, 7 of those forming a Mystic 7 spread, then an Oracle card at the end. But before we get there, let's start at the beginning. I did some intuitive work for you and these were the words and phrases that came up. The first one was visualize success, then the outdoors, then holidays, water, flowers, eating red food and fruits, diet, the colour blue, and communication. So there are a bunch of eclectic words all pulled together. Let's get into the card shuffling and see what's in store for you guys, Cancer, for October 2018. Just a little bit of shuffling here. As I say, I'm not the world's best shuffler, but I don't think it matters. The cards are meant to be whatever turns up. Cancer, October 2018. Your first card is your current situation, and that is the Moon. The second card is the obstacles that might face you at the moment, and that is the 9 of Cups. The third card is your aspiration, that is the World. Your fourth card is what needs to be awakened. And if we turn it over from that way, because 2 came out at once, the fourth card would be this one, which is the Ace of Cups, which is beautiful, and the fifth card is what lies behind you in the past, and that is the fifth card in the 5th position, and I'm glad that one is there. The 6th card is the next stage, so what is coming, and the 7th card is what will be. Okay, let's see if we can get these all into the vision. And we will start by removing this one here, the obstacles card for now, and getting into the Moon. And just while we're at it, you have 2 major arcanas and an ace. I think there was one other lot that had the ace, and it might have been Aries, and it was the same ace that came out. 2 pentacles, a sword, and of course the cup. So the Moon being your current situation and the major arcana. I've been doing these readings on or around about the full moon in September. This one is just after the full moon, and of course for the northern hemisphere this was the harvest moon, and interestingly enough the harvest moon looks like this when it's rising, that beautiful big full luminous moon. So perhaps there is some energetic vibration tied in for you guys to the September full moon, but also possibly to the October one that will be coming up. Now, I often see with this card what I think of as the other water sign energies, including yourself and the Scorpio and Pisces activity in here. So there could be a situation that is represented by some water sign activity, people including yourself or others around you as well. The Moon often talks to us about the feminine perspectives of life, so, you know, becoming involved with that or becoming more activated with it. It can also talk to us about clairvoyance, becoming more psychic, experiencing more dreams, especially at night obviously, sometimes even psychic dreams or awareness or events that will come true through or via dreams. There can be talk about your emotions, because the Moon is a very emotional celestial being and it affects our emotions in a great way. So this might be a time to bring balance into some of these areas as well, including emotions, sometimes as well hormones, especially female cycles of like menstrual cycles and things like that. There can be heightened activity or heightened feelings around these times with all of these different emotions tying in. The other thing that the Moon can represent is that activities may occur at night and they could be a little bit hidden, or some hidden agenda things going on. So sometimes this is dealings at night, or even people who get jobs and they work at night, like night shift workers or nurses at night, or, you know, just you might have to work in a McDonald's and your shift that you get is a night worker. or a night worker driving Uber around, or taxis, or supermarket shelf stocking, or anything. So there can be implications like that as well, but because it's a major arcana card, it feels as though it contains a little bit more depth to it. So whatever depth for you as a person it's going to resonate with is exactly where it will be headed. It does sort of have the feeling of events or cycles, emotions, and psychic awareness and abilities as well. So let's have a look at the one that was the obstacle, which was the Nine of Cups. We know, of course, that when it's in its upright position, such as that, it's a well-loved card and everyone wants to see it in their reading. It means good luck, good fortune, your wishes and dreams and desires are coming true. However, it's your obstacle card. So there's a possibility that some of your wishes and dreams are being held up at the moment, that there are obstacles in place, that some of the things are undercover or underground or being hidden, and this could be in conjunction with the moon. So something might be going on that you're doing here that's either you don't want to tell anyone about yet, or you're keeping it to yourself, or it could involve something that you want kept private. Sometimes the moon can reference things like affairs going on as well, like hidden agenda stuff. So if this is your obstacle card, you have to think twice too if there's something you don't feel quite right doing, like if it's breaching your integrity values, or you've got just a feeling like, oh, I don't know about this. I'm not 100% convinced that either the company's right or the people are right or the actions we're taking are right. Because if this pops up for you, you should back away from it. And I think that's probably the best kind of suggestion there. The Nine of Cups being your obstacle, we're talking about that right now, and it's just saying whatever it is you're really wanting to have happen, it's either blocked or you're perhaps looking at it from the wrong perspective, or it needs readdressing or reactivating or changing it up, going in a new direction, or thinking about something different. Let's look at your aspiration, which is the World card up here, another major arcana. The World card is often about completion of cycles, entering new cycles, so it's kind of like a finish and a beginning all at one. It can represent coming to the completion of a long-held project that you may have had over a period of time or years, and you have gained knowledge and wisdom from it, and these look like scrolls that she has in her hands, almost as if she's achieved an award or some sort, and she has finally finished it. So for some of you, it can literally be the ending of, say, a university degree or a long-held career. And it might be that you choose to move on, change career, or head in a new direction. It can also reference life cycles, coming through different ages. So some of you might have just had a new decade tick over. Some of you might have turned into an adult, such as a 21-year-old. Some of you might be contemplating travelling around the world and going on an overseas experience. Sometimes this is to live, like a long-term experience, not just a short holiday. You can often meet new friends when you do this, and some of them can be foreigners and they may speak different languages, and they can become very firm friends. And these are some of the examples of the people that you might meet along your way. Some of them can turn into lovers, and these can be, kind of like distant love affairs, but they may also evolve into something even more grand than that. So the World card holds a great deal of possibilities, openings, opportunities, new beginnings, knowledge, awareness, growth. It really is a wonderful card. There's also a degree of freedom here. She has more or less nothing on, and she's sort of showing off her healthy body. So for some of you, this could be a freedom into a new health realm for you. You could have come out of some, thing that's been hindering your health or slowing you down. So this can be also considered as well. And if this is your aspiration, this might be what some of you are either planning or what you are wishing for, even though your wish card is a little bit stuck. So if that is the case, don't give up on your dreams and goals and objections. And if there are a few blockages, keep those aspirations going, keep looking forward and plotting and planning for the eventuality of positive success in these, desires and movements forward. The fourth card is what needs to be awakened. And again, we're down here in this kind of realm of love. And the Ace of Cups, I think, is another one of the truly most magnificent cards in the entire deck. And again, I don't know when, other than this month, I do not know when it last came out. It hasn't been out a lot. And is that because the world isn't in a place of much love at the moment, or we're all working on other projects, or we've got so much else going on? Because to feel the energy of love, we really have to be quite involved in it. We have to be calm. We have to be open and receptive. We have to be able to conceive it and to feel it and grow it. So that sometimes takes time, and it takes being in that space and being in that feeling and moment. So the Ace of Cups is there presenting itself to you in a truly great position, because it's what needs to be awakened. So it's suggesting to you that love could be coming. And this card often does represent that. It can be spiritual love and connection. It can be physical love from another person, so like intimate or romantic love. It can be generosity love from a community or a family or a parent or a sibling or a child type relationship. It can be the love of life. It can be the love of your career or your community, as I say. So it's an expansive card that is positive and full of light and activation. It can also represent kind of freedom again. So we're getting more freedom here, like this card up here. And it can also represent conception of a pregnancy, so fertility as well. So the card bodes like so much potential new awakening and awareness and love and positivity. It really is a beauty. So if any of you wish to ponder upon it or think about it or feel into it, just open your heart to receiving love and to giving love, and you will find it merges in and occupies your space around you. If we go to what lies behind you or a past influence, it is good that card is in that position, because it's not the nicest of cards, and it talks to us about the fact that there could have been some ill health, because that card often cites that. I mean, this guy here, he's taken a nasty fall or something with blood and bandages everywhere, and she's nursing him. So we often think of bad health or periods where we have felt unwell or been either physically unwell or even emotionally unwell. We can also have had periods where our money may have been tight, or we haven't had what we've wanted, or we haven't been employed in a job that we liked or been paid suitably for it. We could have had financial restraints. So if this is from the past, could mean that you have learnt something from that, and that you are either making sure you're getting well and clear out of it, or you are taking forward with you the learning lessons from those experiences. They can also have signalled a breakup in a relationship as well, that card. So that could be why there is more freedom and aspiration and the feeling of looking for love for some of you. We come to the sixth card, which is the next stage, or what will be in this next stage. And it's the Four of Pentacles. So it's one before that 5. And the Four of Pentacles still feels a little bit tight and restrictive. He's worried about his money. And I think the worry may have come from something back along here, where extra costs may have come into you. You know, you've been burdened with spending more than you had, or things costing more than you expected, like or having to spend when it wasn't expected, an unusual cost like fixing or repairing something, or having to buy a new car when you didn't expect to, or pay for a hospital bill that you didn't expect. So he feels a bit grinchy about his money, and he's very reluctant to let it go. He's like the king in the parlour counting out his money. However, he has actually got more than he thinks. You can see that, all those gold coins surrounding him. So really he is okay financially. He just needs to be a little bit more in faith, and he needs to have a little bit more openness. Now, I have seen this card turn up when there are possibilities of job applications or interviews coming along, being offered a job. So someone might approach you and say, oh, actually, you could be the person we're looking for. This can also possibly represent attending an interview for a job or putting your CV out to places that are foreign or overseas or in a different country or state. I've also seen this card turn up occasionally for people when there is the inference of an inheritance coming in or a small windfall or a loan. Now, the loan usually has attachments to it, so it's quite often money that might be loaned to you by a family member or a friend or a co-worker or a boss, but they say to you, well, it's not a gift, you will have to pay it back, and there will be these yada restrictions in place. So it's not a bad card, it's how we perceive it that will make the difference in life, and how you free yourself up and how you think positively about it. And if we come to the final card, it's the what will be in the end and the outcome heading out of the month, and we see the jolly 8 of Swords. Well, it's not jolly, is it? It's kind of stuck there in a little bit of angst and depression, fear and worry. So it's almost like this card here, he's projected more onto himself. So that 8 of Swords is about self-doubt and self-worry and fear. It's thinking that you're not good enough for something, or you don't know how to handle a situation, or you don't know how you got here, or you don't know how to get out. So it's about becoming more intelligent and taking the time to think logically about a situation and not become too emotional. And also projecting the positive emotions in. So removing anxiety, fear, doubt, worry, and replacing it with love, light, positivity, hope, determination, success. And that's really the answer for that card. It's a warning card in many ways, and it can often signify too that we need to take time out and regenerate ourselves. If we're burning ourselves out doing a whole lot of stuff, whether it's learning, traveling, helping others, trying to figure out our own lives, if we burn ourselves out without the regeneration and the time out and the meditation and the peace and quiet, then we often end up a little bit overwrought and, kind of like edgy. So take it as a symbol of knowing that you should spend some time with enjoyment and pleasure and gentleness, and remove toxicity and situations that might be creating angst or hidden agenda or not meeting your integrity values. So there we are, Cancer. It's a nice reading in many ways. I think there's a few cards in there that tell you about what to avoid, and there's certainly some cards in there about what to look forward to and actions and emotions to bring into life, and none better than this one here. So let's put these away and see what your last card is for the reading, which is one of these Saints and Angels cards. So this is for Cancer for October 2018. Okay. Child and its guardian angel. So for some of you, a child might be on your mind. It could be that you are thinking of your own child, and whether or not it could be a child who's away or moving away from home, or who you haven't seen in a while, or who you want to keep contact with. You might be spending time on teaching a child something. So taking them through the next steps of life, or like going from, say, a small little child into the pre-teens or the teenagers, or moving from teenager to that decade celebration of, say, 20s or 21s. This could be a message for some of you that you may be working with children, and that your occupation or your future involves children or a child specifically. Some of you may find there's a child that comes into your life in October who plays a role or who connects at the heart level, and there might be a really beautiful love connection there. This could be a relative, it could be someone you intend fostering or becomes an extension of your home life. Some of you might be involved in charitable work and working for foundations that nurture or support or help children. Some of you might be learning childcare or the psychology of children, you know, like pediatric psychology. You might be involved in some of that as well. There's another perspective here too, that it's about being like a child and remembering to have childlike enjoyment and fun and lightness of being, and spending time outdoors and laughing like a child and playing a bit like a child. So bringing some enjoyment and laughter and light into your life as well. So many different perspectives of the child card. Some of you, this could be also a note to say there is a conception and a pregnancy, and a child could be coming into your life that way as well. And that we saw that a couple of times, you know, with especially the Ace of Cups, and also the World card occupies or gives us that feeling of a little bit of, you know, sexual freedom and activity and conception as well. So there you are, Cancer. I've enjoyed your reading. It's quite lively and entertaining, and there certainly were a lot of messages that came through. So thanks for listening and tuning in, guys. I love it when you leave your comments. Please sub the channel and push the little bell button beside it so that you get all the uploads when they come through. Have a wonderful October ahead, and may the essence of a child somehow in your life give you the wonderful joys and freedom and sunshine-like ability. Much love. Namaste.